Santa, 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 whispers Toma as she, Patches, and the rest of the Hihikats were eagerly waiting for Santa to continue his story. "Oh, I must have closed my eyes longer than expected," Santa replied, which was followed by a slightly quieter "Ho, ho, oh, ho. Now, where did I leave off, my dear Toma?" Patches, noticing that Santa is awake, excitedly kisses his face. "Good girl," Santa says, as he pulls her into his lap. "Now let's get cozy." Hihikats put on their favorite Christmas hats. Toma answers, "You were telling us about the magic of Christmas and how this magic feels like a warm hug." "I love hugs," Toma says in a very sweet and loving, soft tone. All the Hihikats' bellies glow bright and repeat in unison, "Hugs." "Ah, yes, Toma, that's right. Santa," asked Toma, "will you share how the children you visit around the world celebrate the Christmas season? I mean, where do you leave presents if they don't have a tree?" exclaimed Toma in an excited but curious voice. Everyone's eyes grew big as Santa cleared his throat in anticipation of what was about to come. Santa leans forward, raises his arms, and says aloud, "Let's begin with a song." At that moment, Santa waves his hands and whispers, "Listen." Shadrach, 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 a little swallow flew and started to twitter to summon the master. Come out, O master of the house." Santa explains in his soft voice about the beautiful song that just played. Traditionally sung in Ukraine, and is called the Bountiful Evening, which later was adapted or recomposed into what you all know as the Carole of Bells. All the Hihikats respond aloud, "Wow, that's beautiful." Ika excitedly asks Santa, "It's a song of good fortune, isn't it?" Santa says with positivity, "Yes, it is, Ika. Great job. In Ukraine, did you know for dinner on Christmas Eve, they have 12 delicious dishes prepared for all to enjoy? Zib's eyes grow almost as big as Baloo's with just this very thought. Zib says, I am moving to Ukraine. Everyone laughs, and Baloo grabs his leash and waits by the door with much anticipation of leaving soon. Santa continues. There's a country called France where children leave their polished shoes by the fireplace and eat 13 different desserts on Christmas Eve. Lola, in shock, responds, 13 desserts? Zib excitedly responds, I am moving to France too. I'll live in Ukraine for dinner and France for dessert. Everyone laughs. You see, their Christmas tradition was to leave their polished shoes by the fireplace, filled with carrots for my reindeer, and I, in turn, would leave presents in their shoes, Santa happily said. Lola, laughing, says aloud, I have a lot of shoes. And boots, Ika shouted. They both giggled, casting their belly glow into the room. Tell us more, Santa, tell us more, says Toma. Santa, thinking, then responds, let's see. In Iceland, they have a beautiful tradition of exchanging books and reading them to one another, all while eating chocolate. Bo immediately reacted, and I will be going to Iceland. Lola replies, bring me back some chocolate. Toma, me too. Everyone laughs. Santa continues, they also leave their shoes on the windowsill to be filled with presents. Toma said in a very unsure voice, so Santa, we don't need a tree? We can leave our shoes by the fireplace or on the windowsill like they do in France and Iceland? Santa laughs. Oh, Toma, a Christmas tree is your tradition. Don't you think if they heard you have a tree inside your house, it might sound a little odd to them? It's simply different and wonderful how people choose how they celebrate. For example, says Santa, which reminds me, in Australia, Christmas is usually spent at the beach. Zib excitedly shouts, at the beach? Isn't it too cold to be at the beach during Christmas, Santa? Bo answers, Australia has summer during our winter, and we have winter during their summer. Zib responds, what? Santa cheerfully responds, Bo is right. Australia, because of where it's located, has opposite seasons from you. So you're used to snow and cold during your Christmas, but in Australia, because it's summer, you'd think of Christmas more like, sun, sand, and waves. All the Hihikats respond, wow. Santa is heard in the distance, but cannot understand what is being said. Zib continues to daydream about his tropical beach Christmas. Lola is heard from across the room, silently at first. Zib. What, Lola? Zib responds and is somewhat annoyed that he has been taken away from his surfing daydream. What do you think about that? Lola asks. Zib, with a puzzled look and not knowing how to answer, just looks at Lola with a blank stare. Lola smiles and said, Isn't it interesting that Santa just explained how in Lebanon, children on Christmas Day are encouraged to ask adults for spare presents? It's almost like our trick-or-treat Halloween, but for Christmas. Zib smiles as he's brought back to the cold reality and left his dream of playing on the beach behind, and responds, That would be so cool. There are some other rather interesting traditions too, Santa explained. Did you know that in Ghana, for example, during Christmas season, it's traditional to pour just a little bit of your drink on the ground outside as a symbol offering to their family and loved ones. And in Bolivia, on Christmas Eve, they bring their chickens to church. And on December 23rd in Mexico, it's called the Night of the Radishes, where they carved the nativity scene into large radishes. And that brings to mind, in Costa Rica, the flower of Christmas season is actually the orchid. Do any of your children know why? Asked Santa. Ika smiled and responded, Because Costa Rica has a huge rainforest, and that is where orchids grow. That's right, smiled Santa. Ika, smiling back, directed her comment to Zib. It's also warm there too during Christmas. Now Zib is trying hard to make up his mind as to where he'd want best to spend his Christmas time. Such hard decisions. Daydreaming of 12-course dinner in Ukraine, 13 desserts in France, then the tropical summer beach in Australia, complete with surfboard, and now a tropical rainforest in Costa Rica. Why can't there just be one place we could celebrate it all in every way? Asked Zib, with a frustrated voice. Santa smiles and giggles. Ho, ho, ho! Yes, Zib. But what's great about having an imagination is that you can have it all in one place. Zib smiles and responds, That's right, and imagines all of this together. Ika says to Santa, I never knew that Christmas was celebrated in so many wonderful ways around the world. You would think everyone celebrates how we do, everywhere. Santa smiles, he takes a breath, and responds, Well, children, I will share a few more before you all are heading to bed. Let's see, what haven't we covered yet? Santa thinking to himself. Did I mention that in Venezuela, specifically their capital city of Caracas, on Christmas Day, the city closes the streets to cars and trucks, and everyone roller skates to church. You could see every eye of every Hihikat wide open in amazement. Santa giggles. I thought that might get you. Huge smile. Toma comes to Santa, looks up with her huge blue eyes, and in the sweetest, smallest voice asks, Santa, are there any traditions that have animals? Like cute ones? I mean, roosters are nice and all, but, they're just not cute to me. Well, my dear Toma, do you think a goat or a lamb is cute? Asked Santa. Yes, I do. replied Toma with a huge smile. Well then, you'd want to go to Sweden. They have a Christmas goat that they believe guards over their Christmas tree. Lola asked Santa, "Is there any tradition of getting dressed up like in a costume for Christmas?" Santa smiles and lets out a chuckle. Ho, 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 ho. Yes, my dearest fashionista Lola. In Norway, people get dressed up in costumes on Christmas Eve and entertain fellow town neighbors as part of their tradition. And Bo asks, "Santa, what about exploration or science traditions?" Santa belly laughs. Ho, 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 ho. I was waiting for your question, Bo. Yes, those two. In Finland, they hide almonds in their porridge, and it's considered good luck when you find it. Bo, with eager excitement, responds, "Cool! That's like going on a geological dig." Santa, seeing Bo's cheer, adds, "And in Poland, they all wait until the first star appears in the early night sky before starting their Christmas Day traditional festivities." Bo, now even happier, responds, "Astrological too? I'm going to have to look up what star that might be." In Ireland, they leave tall red candles in their windows to welcome the warmth of the holiday season into their home. And in Estonia, the first visitor during Christmas Eve represents good luck and fortune to the entire family for the next year, said Santa. Santa, seeing that all his beloved Hihikats were well on their way to dreamland, as it's been a really long day, says with a soft voice, "Children around the world may speak differently or celebrate differently. They might look different or eat different from what we do. But what all the children do the same, no matter where they are, is love." I hope that you all learned that besides all the differences, people celebrate the same holiday around the world. The why they celebrate is all the same. Sweetest dreams, my dearest children, and Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Bo, Lola, and Toma, living in the world full of Rica. And new adventure a day, always finding new ways to play together with you. With their best friends, Sleep and Ica. Patches and balloons too.
They're bats!
Bellies aglow, ready to go.
Who are they?
Hihikats, Hihikats, Hihikats. Hihikats, Hihikats, Hihikats. Hihikats.